Good job, Nate. Good
Mm-hmm.
job, sir. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah. I gotta get this out the way so that I can
Go back.
stay.
Drop,
And
drop.
sometimes Teams is amazing, and sometimes it's freaking annoying. My bar's not going away. So let me do this. Now it wants to go away. Give me 2 seconds, gang. I want to go into that and fix question 15.
All right. So went through the questions. Just see sound
It's gonna be
settings. I'm on mute. So this is the class right now. Let
delete
me turn the
this.
volume up. We got it seat. My meeting is at 10 o'clock. I thought it was at 9. It's 10 Central, which means 10. So at 10
Right.
o'clock in 30 minutes will be my actual meeting for the interview, which is good, which is real
And
good.
I want to go and fix it in my player.
So I'm already ready
So
for my other
if you
call.
guys weren't aware, one thing that makes my course different than anybody else's course is the time that I put into uh, uh, the material that I've given you guys to prep for the exam. So that, where is the download here? I see that it downloaded, but where did it go? Oh, it's an error. Let's try this again. Download. Something's not right. Do this download. What's going on here? Errors. Are you there, Henry?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get disconnected by chance, did I?
No, 1 second.
Let me just try to refresh here. Looks like it's saying that I'm not connected for some reason.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. We're here.
You still there? Okay.
Major Howard is here.
Alright. Just making sure. I think it was my OneDrive. I think something got disconnected. Yeah. I just had to refresh.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Uh, as I was saying, one thing that makes my course so much different is the time it takes me to prepare y'all's practice exam, because I create it by hand. And then I have to create answers by hand. So it used to take a real long time because I used to type it all out. And then I found little shortcuts to make it a little bit faster. But see, I have this reason why you have to use that old bootleg player is because I have an old bootleg designer. And this designer allows me to, yeah, I didn't mean to delete that. I need to put this back in here. Yeah, let's just go here. Restore. Allows me to basically open up this VCE that I've given you guys. And as you see, it's pretty big now. I mean, I'm going to probably try and concise it a little bit more for 701, take out some of those 601 questions. But you see, I go in here and I type the stuff out and I type the answers out, and sometimes I type out an explanation. Sometimes I don't because I don't have time, because I have 20 other classes I got to teach and 20 other practice exams I got to create.
Understood.
But this takes a lot of time, but it is something that I think makes people pass the exam. So
Oh yeah.
I could be the best teacher in the world, but if you don't have a like this one, I see I forgot to mark an answer. You probably, if you did your homework last night, you probably, if you got the 705, there's no answer marked because I forgot to mark it.
I saw that. I did. I saw that. Yeah.
And look at this one, D. D doesn't even have a selection.
But overall, I give it a 90%
I'm guessing
overall.
implementing additional network segmentation. Yeah, it's probably this.
Yeah, Major Howard gives it 90% overall. It's pretty good. All right.
You said what?
Hold on.
I
I
didn't hear
said
you.
Major Howard gives it a 90% overall on the exam. I think it's a good exam. I've seen some crappy exams.
Oh, thanks, sir. All right, let's see here. I'm looking for the one that I need to change, which is community. Just gotta find it. I don't remember what number it was. Yeah. By the way, did you all see this one last night?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. For now, I just say memorize where to select things. This is a simulation. Give me 1 sec. As I find this, we'll get started. I gotta kind of scroll through all of these and see if I can find community. Hopefully, I didn't pass it yet. Might have passed it. It's 6:15. I think I passed it. I'm not talking and not paying attention. Yeah, I did.
Finally, yes.
There it
Like,
is.
what's going on? Okay.
Just saw it.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. So, mic check, mic check. Okay. I got myself muted. Mic is hot, but I'm going to
All right.
unmute.
Go ahead.
But I'm going to mute myself on the
Save
machine.
that.
So when it's time for me to come in, I can unmute the mic. There's 2 unmutes. All right, so I got my Windows
Upload that bad
media
boy
player
real
where I
quick.
got my Teams on one and the Teams on the other simultaneously
Anybody
in
had
2
any
calls.
questions over any particular homework questions last night?
No, I
Were you able
didn't.
to get
I think it was
through
pretty
them all?
good. I had a couple questions on the actual notes that you gave us. There was some good information in chapters 1 through 4 on some of the terms. GPDR, you talked about some of those terms. Is there any other
So
terms that we need?
my note. So before you get started,
Okay.
my notes go in order for 601 book. So some of those things in the notes, if
Gotcha.
you're reading over the notes and
Gotcha.
you're like, I don't remember talking about it. You didn't talk about it because that's book 601. I was
Gotcha.
telling you guys yesterday in class, as I was going through, I'm checking to see if my notes are in the same order. And then they got out of order quickly after we got to chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm.
So, no, we did not talk about GDPR, but continue with whatever you're about to say.
Yes, that's what you stated. So yeah, that's what I need to know. So I won't ask that
Okay.
question until we get deeper.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
So I need to go here to 701 and create a new folder.
Okay, so let him do his thing. It's good to be the first class on 701, right, Ricky? We're gonna be the
Yeah.
first. Always lead the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically, as I'm waiting for the call, I don't know if y'all can see my screen. I got the camera turned off, but I got it one on. Yeah, and so turn it on. Here we go. So we right now.
Alright. So I saved that. Where? Where did I I save that. 220, 938. Bam. Okay. Alright, so we're in lesson 4.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we only got through 3 chapters yesterday. We did not get to the 4th chapter yesterday. The 4th chapter is talking about identity access management. Go here. I'm just curious where my notes on chapter 4, what chapter 4 was on the, 601. So here, chapter 4 looks like it's talking about social engineering and viruses. Yeah, social engineering and viruses. So I don't know what chapter they moved that to in 701.
All right, so we got a video recording now, and we're going to have the video recording, so we get to see
I do have the notes for identity management.
all of that. I have the mute set up over here.
Identity management is going to be the types, something I know, something I have, something I am.
And I'm recording this on audio.
Type 1.
Got it?
So you can see that is chapter 7. I'm going to have to basically change chapter 7 to chapter 4 for 701. But again, these notes are notes from the book. They might not be in order in the book, but everything we're going to be talking about in the book is something that I've jotted down. You can take your own notes, right? If this is not something that's going to be helping you because it's out of order from the book, again, take your own notes. But this is something that I've given you as a tool to help you.
Yep.
So you don't have to sit here and jot down notes, but obviously not in the same order here.
So you heard that? Take your own notes.
So
Take your own notes. Take your own notes.
We talked about something called AAA yesterday. AAA dealing with
authentication, authorization,
authorize, accounting,
and account.
Right?
Yep. Authentication, authorize, the AAAs.
Who I am. Typically, to prove who I am, you can see here in this picture, type in a password. Right? But there's multiple ways we can authenticate. As I mentioned yesterday, and as it's talking about today, there's 3 types. Right? 3 types of ways we can authenticate. And they're called type 1, type 2, type 3.
Type 1, type 2, type 3.
You go through our book. How you guys just made your own there.
Yeah. I got page 70.
Yeah, you want to print the notes out? I can print them out for you. They're like, 70 pages or something. But I got a printer here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that guy's below average.
What'd you say, Henry?
Yeah. Oh, I said I found page 70 is where I see it starting.
Page 70, thank you, sir. Yes. Alright, so let's see. Page 70, let's see if they have types in here still. It's like they took us having to remember types out. As you can see, we see somewhere you are, but it doesn't mention, I'm just kind of skimming through, it doesn't mention that we have to know these types. Like we used to have to know type 1, type 2, type 3.
So the difference, I love it. He's showing the difference between the version 6 and 7. And you need to know both. So I'm going to learn both. I don't care.
Right. So again, authenticate, meaning we're proving who we are. Something you know, one way that we can authenticate, password, PIN number. I tell people if you think it, then you know it. Something you know, right? So this isn't the exhaustive list is what I'm trying to say. Anything you can think of means it's something you know. So you think of the answers to your question. What's your first pet's name? What's your high school mascot? Those are all something you know, right? Ways to authenticate. With password concepts, this is where we talked about yesterday, and you guys did really good on this, right? Because I asked you guys, would it be good to have a password age of 0 or a history of 0? And everyone was like, no, right? Because that means that essentially history means you could use the same password forever because it's not going to remember your old passwords. And age, if you have an age of 0, that means if history was 24 and age was 0, you could change your password 24 times in the same day and get back to the original password. So understand the concept of we do want to have age of, I want the password to get old before you have to change it. 30 days before you can change your password. History. Remember the last 24 passwords. This way it's going to force somebody to make a different password. And a hacker is going to be even harder for him to hack your account because your password is going to consistently change, and it's never going to be back to the original password it was for a long, long time. Complexity, uppercase, lowercase, characters, numbers. We looked at that yesterday when I created a hash. And length. The longer the password, the stronger the password. Just like the longer the key is, we talked about yesterday, the stronger the encryption. This comes from a NIST. It's called a NIST 863B. I don't think that's testable. That's something we talk about in CISP. In fact, I don't even think it's in the book, but it's something that I talk about in CISP. NIST guidance. NIST is I'll pull it up here. I'm not sure why this keeps showing up here. It's freaking annoying now. See if I can close that, and let me go over here. All right, there we go. NIST 800-63B. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. It says, what is the NIST 800-63? Provides recommendations on the types of authentication. Okay. So remember we talked about frameworks yesterday, right? This is a framework. You can actually go here. You can open up this freaking long pages. How many pages of it? 80 pages of recommendations of creating authentication and securing different ways of authenticating in your organization. Right? You can see here, this is the table of contents, right? I talk about multi-factor and biometrics, right? And single factor, out of band, all this stuff that we pull some of this stuff and we bring it into Security Plus, but where does it come from? It comes from a guideline, right? CompTIA didn't make it up, is what I'm trying to tell you. Somebody else created this, and CompTIA is just putting this into their book to teach us the concepts. Password managers. This is one that's built in. Oh, no, this is LastPass. Wow. This is exciting. I teach about LastPass. You can see that. This is not something that we need to know for the exam because this is a vendor neutral exam, so we don't have to know about specific applications that specific vendors create. However, I've always demoed LastPass as my password manager because that's what I use personally. This is actually pretty cool. And with LastPass, I'm not marketing, I don't sell for this company, but you can see I have it. You see right here, I have this little red icon right here. I have it installed on all my computers. So LastPass is a password manager, and what it does is anytime you go to a website, you go Scanner Energy. This is my power company, for example. And I have all these passwords for all these websites. Of course, Windows is going to automatically populate the credentials, but LastPass over here, it will also populate the credentials. So the cool thing about this is if I'm not on my computer that has my password saved on this computer, I'm using the hotel's computer, I can sign into LastPass and tell LastPass to populate my username and password, because it remembers all the websites you've gone to and it's in the cloud. So anywhere I go in the world, if I got to log into things to pay bills, LastPass is always there, no matter what computer I'm on. Even if I buy a brand new computer, I install LastPass, all the stuff's going to populate. Because we know Windows only populates if you click Remember Password, right? So it's a good password manager. Being cloud-based, I like it. And this is what they're promoting here, at least in this picture. With main goal is to have some third-party cloud, that's LastPass. Have some way to secure your passwords. Anything's better than putting a sticky note in your monitor or your password on your keyboard. It's not a secure way to manage your passwords. Multi-factor means we can't have two of the same types. I can't have something you know and something you know. That's not considered multi-factor. with something I know, with something I have, something I have with something I am, right? Something I have with something I do, the way I walk, your gait. You can actually authenticate somebody by something they do, or the way you sign a signature. Your signature is something you do, right? Somewhere you are with something you have. If you're in the U.S., you can sign it as long as you have something you have, the corporation laptop. Something you have, corporation's laptop. But if you're in Syria or Russia, somewhere you are, you can't authenticate because you're not in the correct location. Ooh, I've never had anybody ask me that question ever. Would a VPN correct that? Of course it would. You know that. A VPN is going to spoof the location. So yes, a VPN is always going to correct that issue. But let's say that they're not on a VPN. Let's just say that their computer is recognized to be in a totally different location. Then it's going to deny them access. But yeah, absolutely, a VPN would fix that. And if you can spoof that you're in the United States before you attempt to connect, definitely will fix that. Henry, how are we doing? You still with me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 1 second. Yeah, I'm with you,
I
man.
can't, I just want to make sure that I'm not,
Yep.
you don't have any questions or anything.
Yeah, I'm with you. Can you hear me? All right, can you hear me? I'm with you. Test 1, 2, 3. I can hear you.
I guess he's good.
Yeah, I'm good.
He's there.
Yeah, I'm here. Well,
Keep talking.
all right, I'm here.
Biometric authentication. Here to talk about enrollment. Enrollment process is a process in creating yourself as a person in a system. So think about your iPhone. You got an iPhone? Okay, you got an iPhone. Okay. So did you have the iPhone when you had the fingerprint reader? Yeah. Oh, I mean the old iPhone. Did you have the old iPhone when it had it? Oh, you didn't do it. Oh, you didn't do it. Oh, okay. Which is like, you have face recognition. You don't have that either? Come on, bro. Really? That's crazy. I don't believe that. Wow. So how do you log in? Oh, you got a password you type in? You don't have face? Okay. Well, anyways. Never saw a benefit in it? Too much? Okay. What about when you go to the airport? You fly? Do you have clear? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't, because I put my face in the system. I can just walk in.
That's facial recognition. Isn't nothing about that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, oh yeah, they already got your face.
Yeah, I got both of those. I got
That's
both.
true. That's true.
Hank's got both.
Well, since you haven't done it, one thing that I do remember with my iPhone,
Test.
when I was using fingerprint
Lord have
sensor
mercy,
on
I
it,
changed that
is the enrollment
crap.
process took forever. Right?
Alright.
It literally took like 10 minutes to get my fingerprint enrolled in the old iPhone. It was annoying because you had to lift your finger up, you had to turn it sideways, you had to turn it the other way, you had to put the tip of it on there, you had to put it flat. Like it needed all
Test.
parts of your finger, and it took like about 4 or 5 times when you put the same finger on the sensor before it got your entire finger. And then after that, after enrolling it, which took forever, most of the time they're talking about this word, where's throughput? Throughput. Alright. I'm not sure where here it is. I'm about to say I saw it on here. Throughput. Throughput is the time it would take for me to put my finger on the iPhone. How long would it take to unlock my iPhone? That's throughput. It would take, I always joke around the class, I would die if somebody was trying to rob me and I'm trying to unlock my iPhone with my fingerprint. Because most of the time it didn't recognize my finger. I know. Well, it's exactly what was, as you can see, why they don't have a fingerprint sensor on their iPhones any longer. I think that's why they took it out. Exactly what was the point. Their sensor was poor. like this one I have on my ThinkPad, it's got a fingerprint, but it's amazing. Like, bang, you put it on there, it unlocks. Samsung has a really good fingerprint sensor, right? iPhone didn't have one. iPhone's enrollment process took too long, and throughput, it took too long to unlock the phone. Now, the enrollment process, which, how long did it take for me to enroll my face in the new one? Man, a minute. 1 minute, I was done. Because all I had to do was look at it and it got my face. And then throughput, I can unlock my phone faster than you can unlock your phone because I just glance at it and swipe up and it unlocks because it sees my face. Yes, I don't think so actually, because I still will beat you. Because literally the moment I pick my phone up, right? I pick my phone up. Look how fast this is. It's locked right now, right? So you take your password off.
Go ahead.
All right. Look.
Test.
I mean, if I take the password
I'll take the microphone off. Why is it not
Yeah,
reading
we
it?
can
God
challenge.
damn.
That's what I'm saying. But mine's authenticating when yours is not.
1, 2,
You're right.
3.
You're right.
Yeah. So I like it. Another thing that I like about my facial recognition on my phone, we're going to be talking about something called passwordless authentication. All my applications, like my bank or any bills that I sign into, to authenticate, I enable facial recognition to log in. So I don't have to remember my passwords for all these apps because it just looks at my face and it signs me into my bank account, signs me into my Netflix, signs me into my Comcast bills, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, Netflix actually. Netflix doesn't use facial recognition. Does it? I don't know. Does Netflix use facial recognition? Let me see. No, Netflix doesn't. But I know my Wells Fargo does. I know some of my other bills, my my credit card bills, right? Amex, it uses facial recognition. So a lot of those I don't have to remember passwords. Yeah, I like facial recognition. I think it's beneficial. I think it's good. It's easy to spoof though. Yes, I've seen videos on YouTube where people can take and challenge pictures or 3D printed images of a person's face and use it to unlock somebody's account. However, I think the phone's pretty good at determining if that's really somebody's face by the depth or if it's a picture of their face, right? So you'd have to be really good at graphical representation of my face and have some type of 3D depth, not a screen, and putting the picture in front of it. It's not going to work, right? But I've seen tools that can simulate looking like somebody's face and it actually works. Or twins. I've seen twins. Obviously, twins that can't determine if you're the person or the other person simply. Hard tokens. Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Good, sir.
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
That's the last time I'm going to ask you. I'm not sure where you're at.
I'm here. I'm gonna log
All right.
off. I'm gonna log back
So-
on. All right, I got a problem with my PC. All right, mic check. Mic check. Computer audio.
I was like, where's he at?
Hello.
You good now?
Can you hear me?
You can always, if your mic's not working, you don't have to sign out. You can open up the chat window
All right, 1 second.
and you can type in here. Right? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Let me put a
Okay.
chat. All right, this is weird.
I'm not sure what's going on. He just came in. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, for some
Can you hear
reason,
me?
yes, I can hear
can't
you.
hear you.
So I'm working on
I
the
can hear you.
on the mic,
You
but
gotta
I can
go
see
through the
you. I
mic.
can see you
Oh,
and I
you're
can hear
muted?
you. Yeah.
Your mic's red, so it looks like it's muted.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, your mic tip's red, so that shows me it's muted. But you might want to
No.
go up here and check your mic.
My mic is good. It's
Make
something.
sure
it's
it's
something.
on-
Yeah,
on
I'm
your-
working on
your
that
mic.
now. I'm working on that now. For some reason.
Chat. Okay. Chat works.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes. Okay.
I never played with any of these things.
Okay. I'm wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm gonna turn it off.
Okay. One
All right.
second.
You logged in twice now. But anyways,
All
this
right.
is
Can you
my
hear me
hard
now?
token. And what we would do is,
Good morning.
in
You're
order for
doing
them to connect
wonderful.
to the email
Wonderful.
after we
Let
got
me
these,
turn this
they had
down
a username and
here.
password. And this thing, it changes every 60 seconds. There's a little timer. You can look real close here. This bar counts down. Every 60 seconds, that will change. There's
Okay.
a battery in here, and the battery lasts about 1 to 2 years. Like forever. It just keeps on going. Every 60 seconds, it changes. Okay? So this is the hardware version, and we got this for a lot of people because this was prior to smartphones, right? And now you can just download the app on your phone. It does the same thing. But some people still had flip phones at the time, so this was something that we got them as a hard token that they would just put on a keychain and they bring it to work. So anytime they had to log into email, username, password, and the number. Right? So this is something you have, two-factor. Yeah, you absolutely do. Do you use you got a Gmail account, right? Okay. So if you try to sign into your Gmail here, you probably will get you get it on your YouTube app, right? That you got open. So it's the same thing. Here's that Fast Identity Online FIDO. FIDO is in essence passwordless authentication.
Oh yes.
Fast Identity Online means that it takes me no time at all to authenticate because I'm using.
All right. So first off, good morning. Can you hear me clearly? Make sure you hear me.
And not a password to authenticate.
Outstanding. Hi. So my name is Henry. I go by Hank Howie Jr. And I am a Unified Communications engineer. I'm in the process of now almost 13 years in Unified Communications now, also adding cybersecurity to my skill set. My particular, for all of us at UC, we have to be a jack of all trades and master all things. So my skills all started with AT&T, which of course is American Telephone and Telegraph, in the Unified Communication space, which they had up until 2020. So in 2012 into 2020, I was under the UC banner, putting out, migrating multiple clients as a unified engineer, doing various things as implementations, which is really my specialty. Migrating people from the older legacy equipment to the newest equipment back in those times, all the way up until 2020. 2020, our companies unfortunately decided to downsize, so all of us that were on that team had to go out into the world, which led us into the contract world, which is a good thing. Why? Because there are new products and tools out there that AT&T not wanted to use, such as WebEx and other type of programs, RingCentral and others, that I had the opportunity to work on in the last 4 years roughly in that space. So as my resume shows, I've had opportunities because of the contract roles to do basically subject matter experts come in, learn new things, new features, and then of course once that opportunity is over, move on. So as an engineer, I've been trying to develop those skills instead of staying in the legacy things, also learn the newest things such today as WebEx. Of course, we had the old Unified Communication suite of tools that goes back to around 2000 all the way up to 3.0 now to roughly 14.x. And also new things are coming out as we speak. So I'm in the process of doing Cisco and telecommunications as well as security becoming a really big thing due to the hacktivist things. I'm in the process of developing those skills as well. I'm currently taking a Security Plus course, and so that is really my exciting thing, to be able to merge telecom, which I have had a lot of experience with companies having issues with calls and routing and things like that, spam calls, issues like that. And now that security is really starting to be something that Cisco's pushing, and of course cybersecurity overall, that is what I'm working on now. From the last few jobs, it's been mostly contract work. Most of the companies want us to work in just doing unique things such as help desk, incident tickets, ServiceNow, things of that nature, and resolving issues. So basically we're just kind of an incident resolving engineer. But my passion, of course, is to continue to develop those skills to get companies to the latest technologies, to be able to stay in front of what's coming up instead of always being reactive. And so at this moment, I still continue to work on my certs as well, because we always have to recert every 3 years. And unfortunately, the companies at this moment in time are kind of making a decision on whether they want to do what program, what product was going to be Microsoft Teams Voice, is going to be Cisco Voice, is going to be Ring Central, all the different disruptors. And as an engineer, we just got to be ready for whatever comes. So in my personal skill sets, I'm trying to, as I stated earlier, to be a master of most of the things and always be fluid, flexible, diligent to learn. So as we always have to, my resume shows the different contracts, CUCM, WebEx, UCCX, UCCE, Enterprise, the new WebEx offering, which is kind of an upgrade from the UCCX call center, contact center platform. And then, of course, working with valuable added resellers as well as some law firm, for example, Synergist, as well as Jailbring, which is a Windows and Doors. I've had opportunity to learn the different nuances of the company and how this company wants our Cisco Unified Communication product to be this way, another company wants that. So from the standpoint of Comcast or AT&T Uverse, being on the AT&T side, I know how AT&T was working with Uverse. They've downsized, they left it, but Comcast still is number one, I believe. But I've realized telephones are telephones, and the uniqueness is what this vision of the company wants for their users, and being able to bring that value to the bottom line for the vice president, CTO, and all the IT individuals. So for my, hopefully, opportunities, I have a little bit of knowledge to add. Also, I'm continuing on my own studying and taking certifications because we can never stop. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation about what your team is looking to do from an executive perspective all the way down to us engineers to determine if this would be a good fit for this job.
Stronger type of authentication rather than just a username password. This one's going to implement a little bit better. It's a difference from FIDO multi-factor. One of the key reasons for FIDO passkeys are significantly safer than multi-factor is due to their complete waiver of passwords.
Oh, wow.
Although passwords have not been industry standard for decades, they've proven highly susceptible to various attacks. So
yes, sir.
remember I was talking about my face is not a password. My finger is not a password. It makes up who I am. It's passwordless authentication. That's what I mentioned. FIDO is passwordless authentication. And that's what I was talking about. If somebody was to steal my phone, if they knew my password, if they knew somebody stole your phone, and they know your password, they can get in. If somebody steals my phone, they can't get in because unless they take my face or my finger, they ain't getting into any of my apps that require passwords because I've enabled facial recognition on all of those apps, and they're not getting into my phone because my phone needs not only a password. I do have a password on my phone, by the way, but it also needs my face. It needs both. So this is why I know you don't like to use your face. I was against it too. But at the end, it says here it's safer. It's safer than having multi-factor, safer than having a password. Right. So we might need to add that to our notes because I don't think I have FIDO in my notes. It's probably a newer concept. Not really. The last 601 talks about something called passwordless authentication. They just changed the term now to represent it as FIDO. But just be aware, just in case we saw a question on the exam that says which of the following.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, for our space, without studying the future, we become laggards and late and the legacy. And now with all the new things coming out, Cisco's pushing every year with the latest Cisco WebEx. I'm not sure if your company's going WebEx or if they're going Teams, but both those are big battlers, as we know, kind of like Mac and OS. Which one's going to?
Your soft token is your Google Authenticator. When it sends you a PIN number to your phone, that's a soft token. So typically it's going to be what's called push notification. You get a text message, or you can get a app that pushes a notification to your phone with the 6 digits that you have to enter to gain access to that website.
Yes.
Typically your
that
Gmail
is correct.
that you use, or it could be any other website or internet application that you're using. I used to use for my gaming. Blizzard has a Blizzard Authenticator app. So we can do images. This, I still have it. Right? I is the RSA. Yeah. So this
Mm-hmm.
one just has Blizzard on it, but this number changed. And anytime I wanted a game, I had to take this thing out, and it was off by default. You had to push this button.
Well, for my last three positions as we went in the contract world, it was like you stated, it was more resolving incidents. When I worked with, well, actually Old Castle, one of my first contract roles, it was implementation. They were migrating the old Nortel system to the Cisco system, so I was doing 200 site locations, cuts at night between 11 to 6, and it was routine. I'm on a project for 2 or 3 years because they got 200 locations, all of them got to be migrated. Then when I go on to, from there, JELWIN, it was pretty much working in the kind of overseeing of a vendor. We had a vendor that came in, and I was kind of like the SME to make sure the vendor is doing all the things, because companies want to save money. So if they go to what we call a managed services company, they can have them get it a small price and get all the things. So I wasn't doing actual every single day working on the router and the gateway and doing the configuration like I'm used to doing. I was kind of motivating and managing. When I went on to our next contract, it was more of like ServiceNow help desk, which is our service ticketing portal, and just getting every single morning, being ready for whatever, it's a level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 incident, and adjusting. Most of those were mostly level 1, so I had to deal with like password resets and things of that nature, which I felt like it was like a little bit, after all I knew and learned, I kind of was like, oh, I wish I could learn more. So I had to accept that responsibility, which I did. But of course, I'm always still studying and learning, and so that, of course, was a contract role. Once that ended, the next contract role kind of upgraded a little bit from there, where we worked in a small 1,000 person was the maximum large company we ever had. I'm used to working with 22,000, 30,000 users, 40,000 big AT&T type companies. So there'd be 4 or 5 of us engineers all working together. And the last company was kind of more of like, okay, schools, we're going to do basic things. So from the standpoint of my brain and working hard to get my CCIE, it's like, okay, I like to get opportunity to work on more technical things so that I can apply the knowledge from the textbook to real life scenarios, because that's what we need to pass that certification. So my hope and drive is always to study. But again, you see my resume, I've got 12 years of experience, and that's been technical, using voice. So again, I just don't want to lose what I've learned by not practicing, but at the same time, every job opportunity I've been getting, or every interviews I've been getting, have been for senior level engineer roles or mid-level engineer roles, because they have a lot of issues with their legacy equipment, configuring things of that nature. So I'm interested to learn what this role's opportunities are, what are the future next 3, 4, 5 years in that role, and if this is something that I'm overqualified, underqualified, or exactly qualified for.
Say it was 300,000, and could have been a couple championships where he was not paying taxes, and it over time has added it eclipsed to 190,000. I was like, golly, dude, that's a lot of money, and with that $1 million, you're not getting all that $1 million. You're probably getting 600,000. Right? Because taxes are going to take the rest. I don't know, 30%, 40%.
Understood.
They don't. You have to come back and pay it. But that's the thing. If you're a kid, you don't know. You think you got $1 million. You got $1 million. And if you're not from this country, you don't know. So yeah, he messed up. So here's that passwordless authentication term. Rick didn't take it up the book. But like I said, this is what I've been talking about. It's more secure. In my opinion, I think it's more secure. And a lot of companies, as you can see, I don't know if you've seen any of your apps on your phone, a lot of companies are enabling this feature. So why would you think they're enabling this feature if it's not a secure feature? Attestation, verify authenticator is a root of trust. So we're on page, 78. So they're talking about, it says here in the book, passwordless authentication, and right below it, it says use FIDO UTF provides similar security for this passwordless authentication. So they're the same thing. FIDO and password authentication are exactly the same thing. So nothing's changed. But attestation is what I was getting at. It's at the bottom of page 78. I'm going to read the definition from the book here. Attestation is a mechanism for an authenticator device, such as FIDO security key, or a TPM chip in a PC or laptop. Now, we talked about this TPM chip yesterday. So they call it boot attestation. I might have used the word yesterday, but I might have came short of using the word yesterday. But if you recall, TPM chip, his job is to stop the boot process if it detects that something has been modified in the system, right? If we enable it, the chip's going to say, nope, something's changed, something malicious has been modified to the system. I'm not going to let the system boot up. It's called boot attestation. Simply put, it's testing the machine to see if the integrity of the machine has been modified. And if it thinks something has been changed or modified, it's going to stop the boot process to keep your system safe. So here they're talking about attestation again, is a mechanism for authenticating a device such as file, security keys, or the TPM, the PC, or laptop, to prove that it is the root of trust, to prove it's trusted. Each security key is manufactured with attestation, model ID, during registration step. If the relying party requires attestation, then the killer uses this key to send a report. The relying party can check the attestation report to verify the authenticator is a known brand and model. Supports whatever cryptographic properties the relying parties demand. So I like what they're saying in the book. However, I would not explain it like that to class. Right? The concept of attestation is this. Simply put, layman's terms.
Well, from the WebEx, I want to make sure I'm clear. WebEx came out back in 2020, so when it first came out, it's right now coming from 4 years. I've been studying WebEx for that time. Before that, of course, we was with the call manager. Rings is a disruptor that I haven't had an opportunity to work on, but I have read up on it, so I can't say that I've actually had a job in that world. Unfortunately, all my companies from Synergist, Lightworks, they were WebEx or they were Team Shop. So those are the two areas where I actually had to work in equipment.
Its job is when you plug it into the system, it's going to, in essence, create a report or a hash of your current state of your system. Right?
Yes.
Okay, you have one hard drive, you got 2 sticks of RAM, and you have one CPU. Right? That's what your system looks like on Monday. Here's your report of your current system state. Tuesday comes, and you go to work, you come back home, you go to work Monday night, you come back home Tuesday, somebody was inside your computer messing with the state of your computer. So now things have changed. Instead of one hard drive, you got 2 hard drives. Instead of 2 sticks of RAM, you got 3 sticks of RAM. Something has been changed.
Okay, so that's a great thing. So y'all have no goals of going WebEx right now. That this is only going to be Teams #1 focus.
It compares it to the report on Monday to the report on Tuesday, since these 2 reports do not match. Therefore, I don't trust your system any longer, then it will halt the boot process. Right?
That's good.
So this is what attestation is.
That's good.
It's testing the system to see if something has changed. Right, 4B, access management. Hey, we talked about this yesterday. This is the second time we're talking about the same thing. Discretion. It's up to you as a user whether you want to grant somebody rights or privileges to files or folders. And I do know that I have these in the notes. Mandatory. Right, we talked about this military labels.
I could say number 3. I'm definitely for moving. I'm used to move. I'm from Oklahoma, so in my career I moved a lot. So I'm a military vet, and so I personally don't mind.
We're gonna have to have a lot of tributes, right?
Yes, ma'am. United States Army, retired in 2003. Yes, sir. Captain is my last rank. Yes, sir. 11 Bravo Infantry. Yes, sir.
For at least 30 days before we're going to be given access to systems. So I said this is the most granular, the most detailed of the control types. It says context sensitive. That means you have to meet several requirements before you're given access. Not just one, like all you got to do is work for the company, you're having access. Now you got to work for the company and have security clearance and have certification. Most companies use this because it's not up to you as a user, it's up to the administrator, non-discretionary. Right? Conditional access. Conditional access means that you must meet certain conditions before you're given access. Right? So conditions such as you must be on the network's VLAN, right? Maybe VPN. So you VPN into the network, you have access to the correct VLAN, VLAN 1, VLAN 2, or that particular network. You must be a manager. You must have the certification. education,
That's
and
right.
you must have a security clearance. So it's almost like a tribute mix.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
Let me,
Are
let me
you a
take that
veteran?
back. I was too quick to answer that.
Oh, okay,
Do you
okay. I
use
thought you
two
sound like you were.
VPNs?
That's
Is that what you're
why.
saying?
I have a friend which trained over me,
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
they wanted to go to Apple.
Yeah.
Now we have to be in a certain place. So
Oh, you're saying VPN into a location in Africa, then VPN to your company? I've never tried it. I would think it works. But I've never tried it. Yeah. The most I've tried is just one VPN.
Yeah, I only did 12, and I was ready to go. So, but I do understand. I'm a part of AMVETS and DAW and other vet organizations, and I agree 100% what you're
Your
saying.
company can detect that you're already on a VPN, which would disable your ability to use your company's VPN.
Yeah,
And would say you double click on it, it says, hey, you already have a VPN open. Right? For
Mhm.
security reasons, we're not going to allow you to connect.
Mhm.
like I said, like nobody has to be
Mhm.
and it's not even made it on your
Mhm.
No, what do you mean? Norton's in.
Yes, I'm definitely willing to move. As a matter of fact, I'm definitely very excited. I would like to move. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and at a place in my career right now, I like opportunities, and I'm a single guy, not married, no children. But from the military aspect, that kind of is the way it's always been. So I'm just very mobile. I like to work with teams, as you described in your first question. I definitely like the role. You said subject matter expert for teams, and so I definitely want to learn that because I've been so had to say it that we've had to learn so many different sections and be like compartmentalizing our mind to issues on the routing for OS or for CUCM versus WebEx versus Teams, and I'm very fascinated to do some research on that, do some reading up on that to see what the systems are because you was talking about having the WebEx or the Teams conference rooms and trying to deal with issues between looks like codecs. You were talking about sometimes the call manager is not connecting, or I've seen some experiences with Microsoft Teams rooms, things of that nature. So you said conference rooms, right? Microsoft Teams conference rooms.
And you get this pop up. You're probably not going to see this remote because you're connected to.
Oh no, yeah, the big old with the conference rooms. It's a really nice. It's like WebEx. It's a 50, 60, 70 room conference room for the executives having to set some of those codecs up. That's awesome. How many conference rooms do you think this particular location, or is it global locations? How many
certain conditions I need to be met before I can install things.
Okay.
So they give us an example of the UAC controls that's built into Windows.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's conditional access. You must be an administrator before you can install apps on the system.
Oh, nice.
I want to make sure mine's
Okay.
turned off because I hate that pop up. So I turn mine off so it never pops up. Because I am an
Wonderful.
least privilege. We're in 4B and continuing
Yes.
the bug. We passed all the different controls. We're at the bottom of 83. Least privilege means that I do not give you access pretty much to anything. Only access that you need to do your job is what least privilege is. Okay? We did this to a T at insurance agency. I always tell the classroom, why did we create a user account and give them a username and password that would give them access to nothing?
Yeah, there's 7 or 8 application
no
stuff.
Files, no
Yes.
folders, no server, no
Analysis.
distribution groups.
Yeah, the
nothing.
analysis on this issue.
And sometimes the first day, usually the second day, the employee would call help desk and say, I don't have access to anything.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys
Well,
create an account.
yeah, I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm still kind of a newbie. I don't really, they don't treat me like an Atlanta. They treat me like an Oklahoman.
Competitors from other
Yeah.
insurance agencies would come to our company to steal our clients. They just want
I have been to Philly. I've flown into Philly. I'm a private pilot, so KPD PHL, that's Philadelphia Airport. Yeah, I've flown into that. I'm trying to. I got a little Cessna 172 license. I'm trying to go around the world, but I love Philly. I think Philly is it's like New York. It's not as bad as New York, which I'm not saying that it's bad, but I mean it's like much bigger. Yeah, it's much bigger than Atlanta. I know that.
These are reasons why this authorization creep, they changed this term that used to be called privilege creep. Now it's called authorization creep. It means the same thing. Let's see. Let's turn the page here.
Yes.
police privilege, an authorization creep, is at the bottom of page 83. So the
Mm-hmm.
authorization creep refers to a situation where users acquires more and more privileges with our rights, either directly or by being added to security groups or roles. Yeah, same term, same definition.
I'm looking forward to going to
It's changed.
Allentown. That's my place. I have a friend from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Is that, you know what that's at? Okay.
I'll explain this in 1 second.
Oh, I bet.
Add some
Yeah.
things to my slide here. Privilege. I spelled that wrong. Privilege.
Mm.
Privilege.
Oh, that's not bad. Oh, I don't mind.
Ricky starts a job year 2000 in a company. He's working as an administrator. He's at the front desk. A year later, he grows
Okay.
in the company. So now
Okay.
he's moved
Okay.
to become a junior staff.
Yes, I'm
technician.
pretty immediate. I'm
Junior
currently
staff,
right
yeah.
now not on
He
a
went
contract, so
from
I'm taking
front desk
Security Plus
to now he's a
courses
junior
online right
accountant.
now and boot camps and taking a few boot camp
He's
courses.
like accountant.
But I'm
So now he
immediate.
moves
I have all
forward
my
in the
stuff
department.
right now ready to go. So
Now
if
he's
the opportunity if an opportunity
working
presented itself, which I've been applying across the
now
United States, and
over
so
10
yes,
years
one of the
you've been in
biggest
the
things a lot of
company.
companies don't want to do is relocation. So you're the first one to even say relocation. They were doing mostly
Authorization
remote or
creep
hybrid
means that you
twice a
automatically
week and
remove
flying in.
rights
So yeah,
from
I
each of those
definitely.
departments. So over 10 years, you worked in every single department, and then you got access to
Oh.
all the data in the organization.
Mm.
Privilege creep or authorization creep is a bad thing. We don't want that. We want somebody to audit.
Yeah, most companies can't do that right now. So I would love to, but I don't have the funds to move right now. Would it be able to work with the company to after the first couple checks to make that move? Because I have to get all that stuff organized.
When you move to a different job position, we got to remove
Okay.
our old access.
Okay.
Provisioning. Right, we're on page 84. Provisioning. Sometimes
Yeah.
they call it
Yes.
onboarding.
90 I would think 90 because to find an apartment and all that good
Creation
stuff.
of
And yeah,
something
that would
new.
have to be that would be great
And
for
then we
me.
could provision account access. We could provision.
Yeah, I know most companies
maybe
don't have
phone for you.
relocation. Like back in the day,
Provision a laptop,
Joe, when
get a
I worked
laptop
at, they
with
had
you.
relocation, and it's
Or-
like, oh wow, you know, in North Carolina. But now with all the world today, it's everything is going hybrid and remote.
The
So,
moment
but
they give you a
if
phone
I could do both, I
you're
could do
expected
both
that
until
answer
it's
that phone.
feasible. Because I do believe being with a team is really important, and I love being in the office. I just don't like the remote in the sense of you just don't connect with your bosses and your managers, your vice presidents. And coming from the old school, the military, it's like I like to be in the room.
Issuing you,
Yeah.
access by granting you assets
Mhm.
like laptops,
Mm.
tablets, phones, right?
Yeah.
Parking pass, proximity badge, your cat card.
That'd be
all
awesome.
stuff is provision. And deprovisioning means I'm taking all of it away. You got removed, terminated from your position. I got to make sure I take your VPN
Mhm.
access away. I got to make sure I take your access, your username, password, your Cisco Jabber, your VPN, all that stuff's got to be deprovisioned. Give me back your laptop. So how we did this in insurance agencies, we had a checklist. We had a piece of paper.
Okay, in the past,
Somebody got
when
fired.
at AT&T,
We checked
I was a
every
salary
single
employee.
provision
So in
when they got
2020, my
fired.
salary
And then
was
when they
96
got called to HR's
thousand
office,
per year with the
get
benefits and all that,
all
healthcare and all that.
terminated.
The
We go
contract
back
world,
to
of
the
course,
draw
due to the
where
opportunities,
that
they of
person's
course
file
increased
was,
us
and we can look at
tremendously.
everything that we gave
And so
them,
my
and
last
then we
job
can
was
take it away.
$57
Because a lot of times we didn't know that we gave them a
20 some cent an
laptop.
hour
We didn't know
was
we
my
gave them a
rate.
phone. They've been there
It
for
came
5
out to
years.
120
Forgot what I gave
per
you.
year salary,
Oh,
but
you got
you know,
a
breaking it
job
down with
compensation
it
too?
was
I gotta
$57,
get
something like
back
that.
too.
And
Don't
so
take
I've
your
hovered
house.
around the
Yeah,
area
we
of
forgot about
55,
that.
56,
Get
57,
that back
$58
too.
an hour. I'm working hard to get more certifications, you know, to get more, but I've been in that range. So roughly 120, 115, 120. That has been where I've been.
So you're going to talk about something called GPOs, group policies, right? And ways in which we can go into a specific account and we can lock that account
Okay.
down.
Okay.
Group policies allow us to go into a specific user's account or a specific group of users' accounts, and we can create security rights on that
Stockholders.
particular
Wow.
user's account.
That's new.
Now I'm gonna give you a real life example of how we use GPO, right? So you can understand the concept rather than the definition.
Mm-hmm.
At a call center that I worked at, we had employees that would be taking people's credit card information.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because the call center supported Kaiser, Permanente, Wells Fargo was in there, Verizon was in there. We had a lot of Fortune 500 companies. And what was happening in that company is
And is this a
the
contract or a
employees
full time? I'm so
were
used to
writing those
talking to
credit card notes
contractor.
down.
Oh wow.
So
Okay,
when
I'm
you
not used to
call
that. Last calls I've been
and
having is
using
all
that credit card
contracts, so they want
information to
hourly
shop
rate.
for a
So
line,
you're actually calling from the company
but these are
Comcast. That's
people where
awesome. Wonderful.
one, they
Oh
are
wow.
from
Wow.
a
It's so
impoverished area. This
wonderful.
was actually a
Wow.
black-owned business, and our
Wow.
job was to go to these impoverished areas and
Well, that's even
bring
amazing.
money, bring
Wow.
revitalize these areas, right? Where basically things were closing down. We wanted to bring money to these areas, and then we definitely wanted to hire um,
Yeah.
our people, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes our people they take
Hmm.
advantage of this opportunity because nobody's hiring them, and then they get hired by a company like us,
Yes, it
and they go
would. I
right
would
back to their
definitely
old
love to
ways.
interview.
So yeah, we had to call cops
Yes,
because
I
we'd
mean,
get
at this
arrested,
moment, I have to
and a
say,
lot of
hey,
them
I just want to
wanted
be
to
in my
run their
profession,
business away
and if that
because
have
this
to, I
looks
believe my
bad when
performance helped
Kaiser
me
or Wells
get back
Fargo
to
run
where I was
people,
as a contractor.
and
So
our
yes.
business are
Hmm.
stealing people's information. So we created something called a clean desk policy, which is a
Yeah, to be
term in the
full
book.
time like
Means that you
AT&T,
can have
that's
great paper and
that's been my
pens and
dream.
stuff to write
Get
down
back
credit card
permanent.
numbers
Yeah.
and take it home.
Wow. Do they
Right? So
have actual
that kind of
educational
squashed that issue.
opportunities like
Well,
AT&T
now they
for
got
going back
smart.
to getting a
And
master's
now on
degree
their
or
systems,
IT
getting to
certifications? Do they
GPO,
have anything
on
like
their
that? Do you know?
systems, they're creating notepads on their systems, opening up the Gmail account
Okay.
and emailing a notepad with all the credit card information to the Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo account.
Hmm.
So now, even though they're not writing it down, they're using their system to do the same thing. So a GPO allows
Oh,
us to go into
okay. I'll
the
find out.
system
I'll find out.
and actually stop the ability for you to right click and create a notepad. You
Mm-hmm.
can't even do that
Hmm.
anymore. On our system, we created a GPO that would not allow them to go to the Hotmail or Gmail website. Right? The
Yes.
system only allowed them to open up Internet Explorer, and it only went to a single site. They couldn't even type in the bar to go to a different site. So we can lock down everything as far as what you're allowed to do in a system
Well,
within group policy. So if you ever have time one day, look in there and you'll see that there's so many things.
mm-hmm.
You can just see the picture here. Allow login to remote desktop. Right now it says not defined. I could say disable. Now you can't use remote desktop to log in.
Yes.
There's lots of things.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the list is incredibly long, and this is a whole job in itself. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
GPO is a whole
Mm-hmm.
person's job in itself. Right? So when they say
Yes.
they're hiring somebody and they want somebody to create GPOs, don't apply for that
Yes,
job unless
sir.
you actually know what you're getting yourself into, because it's very deep. And then you can make changes in a GPO that will affect the entire
Oh no, you're not running over time. I
organization.
appreciate the
If you mess
conversation,
up,
and
you
definitely
cause
like a
the
large
entire
company as
organization
big
to
as
go down,
AT&T,
like
and
I
everyone
did.
knows Comcast is very
So
big.
be
To be a
careful.
part of a
Use a
large
GPO
enterprise to me
and
is my
make
passion
changes.
because you get
And
more
know
than just
if
10
you did
people in
make
a
a change,
company, and
know how
most
to
of my
revert
companies have been real
the change that
small.
you made,
So when you
which I
get it
didn't know
back
at the
with the
time,
larger
to
firms, you
get
get to
things
see
back
the
to
big,
normal.
big umbrellas of billions and
All right,
trillions of
I got
dollars of
restrictions.
infrastructure and networking and all those things. So I think it's really exciting to get an
Okay,
opportunity
86.
to interview
Here they're
for
talking
this
about
role.
how
I
can we
definitely am very
restrict
interested
who
in
can log
definitely
in.
interviewing and going to more
Well,
technical
we can do
deep
by
dives
IP
with your
address. If your
hiring
IP
managers
address
as well as
is not
VP and
taking
all the people
VPN
on
into
the team to see
consideration,
if I'm a good
but
fit.
if your IP
I'll definitely
address is
start
coming
going
from
hard on
Russia,
studying your
you
company
can't
so
log
I
in.
can be able
If
to
your
know
IP
more
address
about
is
the
coming
vision of
from
the company
US-based
and the
IP
executives
address,
and what
you can log in.
your actual
Right? Time-based restrictions. You
enacted
can only
and
log in
written
between
rules
hours
are
of
because
8 to
every
5
firm is
Monday through
different.
Friday.
But I
Try to log
definitely
in
am
on the
very
weekend. Try to
fascinated
log in at
to go
5:01.
forward in that
It's
interviewing
so you can't
process.
log
So
in.
I have many questions, but
Did we have a
I'll hold
question
those off
last night
to the next step.
in possible travel? No? Henry,
Mm-hmm.
do you know? Chat,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
did you ever see a question last night with impossible
Mm-hmm.
travel?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
You can hear me, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
wait for you. If not, impossible travel means that when you log into your system, it's telling you where you logged in from.
Mm-hmm.
So if I logged into my system this morning at 9 a.m. and then at 9:01, it looks like I logged in from Paris. That's impossible travel time. There's no way 1
Okay.
minute later I can look as though I'm logging in from Paris. So you're going to see questions in the exam. Basically, they're worded like that. User logged in at this time at this location, 2 minutes later they logged in here, a minute later they logged in here, what's going on in this scenario, and possible travel time. Right? So basically they're going on as a hacker, and they're using VPN, and they're spoofing different locations and trying to brute force their way into the system. Temporary permissions, we kind of use this, right? Removes the account from the security role or group after defined period.
Okay.
In Active Directory, if I knew a person was a contract worker and they're going to be here for 90 days, I would create their account and I would say that it would expire. Let me show you guys. This is stuff you don't learn from the book. This is stuff you have learned on the job training. But we can set the account to expire. Active Directory.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, sir.
So this is Active Directory. It's where you create accounts. See, account expires.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Typically by default, it's never. But if I know
Oh,
that
no problem.
90 days,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
And I'll say at the end of this 90-day period, I can put the date here, click apply, that account will just be terminated. So I don't have to remember 90 days later to terminate this account. It'll just automatically happen. Or say somebody calls and I'm going on maternity leave, I'm having my baby. What day do you think you're having your baby? And I just tell my account to expire that particular date. I see you popped up. Did you respond in chat with something with possible travel?
No. Possible
you did see
travel.
the question. I can't hear you, so you can type in chat.
Yeah, I have an issue.
Alright, privilege access management. Sometimes they call it PAM. Alright, privilege access management. This is a way that if I have a admin account, that's what a privilege account is, it's going to be able to go in and it's going to give a report on how you are using your credentials. So remember I said the accounting or auditing, anything you do in the network can be tracked. Say you get your Security Plus cert Friday, they give you admin access on Monday, and now you're like, ooh, I'm going to go snoop around in this folder, or I'm going to give my best friend access to this. Any changes you make with your admin account, privilege access management is tracking those changes, and it will send a report back to the powers that be on how you're using your account. So it prevents malicious abuse of privileged accounts, admins. So we definitely gotta make sure we know we are being tracked no matter what we do.
Yeah, it's normal. Okay.
We have temporary elevation. So yes, I can give somebody admin accounts for a temporary period of time. So that's same thing how I can give somebody access to the network and have them expire 30 days later. So I can go in and say, hey, for the next 2 hours, you're an admin. Do what you gotta do, and then after 2 hours, your account was gonna go back.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah. There are ways you can do that, yes. Manually, but they have other ways in which you can do something called just-in-time access, where you can give them just the amount of time that they need to do what they got to do. That way you don't have to go back.
Just-in-time access.
There's a acronym in the book, ZSP, on page 87 in the book, ZSP, right in the middle. So there's a just-in-time, by the way. I was just talking about it, it's right there, because you were asking a question. So yes, just-in-time is going to give me that temporary access. Alright, I'm doing my notes here. Gotta make sure I'm covering everything next time I teach a class. Alright, so that is that just-in-time, which I've explained. Alright, just-in-time permission means that the account's elevated privilege are not assigned at login. Instead, the permissions must be explicitly requested and are granted for a limited time. This is referred to as zero standing privileges, where 3 main models are implemented for this. So just-in-time is also known as ZSP. Actually, we'll spell it out. Zero standing privileges.
There it is, just in print right there. There it is on page 87. Page 87.
3 main models. Temporary elevation, I just talked about that. You have access for a certain period of time.
Yep.
Password vaulting brokering means a privileged account must be checked out from a repository and is made available for a limited amount of time. I mean, these are all doing the same thing, right? Giving me access as an admin for a limited period of time. Here it's saying checked out from a repository. That means there might be 10 admin accounts, right? And if 9 of them are being used, you can only check out one more. But if all 10 of them are checked out, kind of like the library, you gotta wait your turn until somebody checks in and gives back that privilege, and you can check out the one that got checked in.
Mm-hmm.
The administrator must log a justification for the purpose of the privilege. Approval of requests could be automated via system or require manual intervention. That means that Ricky logs into the system and says, I would like to be administrator for the next 2 hours. Can I check out an admin account?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might have to wait for me to look at that ticket and say approve, or it might automate. You might answer a couple of questions, reasons why, and if the system says it's okay, and if there's one available, that just gives you access for the next 2 hours. It says here provides an M of N control. We talked about that yesterday. And how many out of N, a total number of people required to approve your request. So it couldn't just be me. It'd have to be me and my boss to say, yes, Ricky can have access. And informal credentials means the system generates or enables an account to use to perform the administrative task and then destroys and disables it once a task has been performed. Temporary or informal membership of a security group or roles can serve a similar purpose. So yeah, you got password vaulting. We're gonna say here.
Right there.
Check out.
These terms. Password vaulting.
Yep.
Those terms. Yep. See.
All right. So yeah, I would say this whole section right here, 701, is new. It's not in 601.
Oh.
Where we at 4C. Let's go ahead and wrap up 4, and then we're gonna take our first break. All right. So here we are on 4C, authentication providers. Password versus password hashes. Now, first off, we know what a hash is. We talked about yesterday. All passwords should be stored in a hash.
Right.
Insulting our hash makes our hash stronger. Right? Of course, we got pepper that makes it even stronger than hash. And salt, I'm sorry. But our hashes are considered one way. That's why passwords are stored in a hash, because at no point in time do I want somebody to take somebody's hashed password and reverse it back into their plain text password. That should not be able to happen. We have different types of hashes, and we talked about the ones that were weak yesterday, MD5, because it's 128 bits, right? Nintendo. And then we talked about SHA 512. We saw a picture of 512. We saw it was 5 times longer than 128. So let's just review from yesterday. Windows authentication. Windows has different ways to authenticate or log into the system. Now, some of them are weak. NTLM, we do not use NTLM any longer. And some of them are strong. Kerberos, we currently are using Kerberos because Kerberos is a very strong way for us to authenticate to Windows.
Kerberos.
Let me see what they've want me to expand on here, because I can expand on quite a bit here.
So I know he's talking about
All they talk about is NTLM is legacy. I mean, of course, I just said we don't use NTLM. Now, I do want to talk about NTLM. I want to add something because it's going to be in the book.
Okay, it's gonna be in the book. It's gonna be in the book. You got that? It's gonna be in the book. Kerberos.
Pass the hash attack. So the reason why we don't use NTLM is because of the attack called pass the hash attack. Now, what happens with the pass the hash attack? And I might have mentioned it yesterday.
You did.
I'm not sure.
You did.
Classes kind of go together, gang. I just taught a class similar last week. So if I think I told you guys, it's probably my last class. But I can go into a database of hash passwords. I can find a hashed value for your account. I don't know your password, but I can see your hashed. I take your hashed password, I put it into your credentials, I did talk about, hit enter, and it logs me into the account. That's what a pass a hash account is, attack is. So that's why we don't use NTLM, we just disable it. So I did talk about this class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that was a rainbow table attack. That was a totally different attack. I talked about that attack yesterday, yes. But yeah, this one is different than rainbow table. Excuse me. Pass the hash would be essentially just taking that hash value. I don't have a table to reverse it like rainbow table. I just have the hash. I hit enter. Your username is your username, Ricky, and then your password is your hash. And I hit enter and it logs me into your account. I don't need your password. I just had your hash. I passed the hash into the system and it logged me in. Why did that happen? Because weak authentication was being used. That's why we don't use legacy. That's why we use this. Windows currently uses Kerberos for us to log in, right? Because it's stronger. The Kerberos is still susceptible to a similar attack, but we don't get into that in this class. It's CISP we do, advanced class. So just because we use Kerberos, don't think it could not happen. It's just harder for it to happen with Kerberos because it's a newer protocol, but it can happen. But for Security Plus, just know we don't use NTLM because of this. Right? Linux. We have two directories in which authentication is kept for Linux. We have the etc, that's how they pronounce it in Linux, etc password and etc shadow. Now this is very misleading. etc password directory contains usernames. The password directory contains usernames.
Wow.
Why the heck does it not contain passwords?
That's interesting.
Long story.
Wow.
But usernames are stored here. The shadow directory, that's where the passwords are stored.
Shadow directory.
Right? So if we see a question, you might see a question in the homework tonight, you might have seen a question in the homework last night, where it shows in the scenario if somebody has compromised this directory, what are they trying to do? They're looking for people's usernames and passwords. That's what etc password and etc shadow contains. Again, usernames for etc password, passwords for etc shadow. I've already talked about PAMs, but here this is a pluggable authentication to module, not privileged access management. Now here we have an acronym, but this acronym means completely something different than the acronym we just talked about 2 slides ago. So on page 90, pluggable authentication module is a package for enabling different authentication providers, such as a smart card login. That's your CAT card, by the way. Smart card login is your CAT card. It's pluggable. You plug it in and you log in.
Yes.
The pluggable authentication module framework can also be used to implement authentication to network directory services. So your CAT card gives you access to log into your system, but it could also give you access to print. It could also give you access to see email. It could also be used to access different things on a network. Right? But you have to have that device plugged into your system in order to prove that you have access to authenticate to it.
CNC and OU widget. Yeah.
So I just showed you a picture of Active Directory. That's what they're talking about here, directory services. Active Directory is this. This is the picture I showed you.
Yeah.
Now, Active Directory stores all the users and computers in the organization. So here you can see a picture of Active Directory user computers. They went into the corporation VersaCorp and look at all the users that work at VersaCorp. Every single user in the entire organization, their email is all created in Active Directory. And your rights are going to be controlled here. I can grant you rights to certain things in Active Directory. I can delete your account, which means you can't log in if you don't exist in Active Directory. You're good? So Active Directory uses a specific protocol to allow you to store all of these users and all these computers in
LDAP.
the directory, right, called LDAP.
Yeah.
X500 or LDAP. LDAP is a protocol that allows us to store all of those users and computers.
That's right.
Think of LDAP as, when I talk about protocol, there's a protocol that allows you to serve the web. That's HTTP.
So, There's Samuel.
It's a protocol that allows me to store usernames and computers. That's LDAP. LDAP has a port number 3389. Goodness gracious. 3389 RDP. 389 is LDAP. So they all have port numbers. Where I said there's 65,535 ports.
Yeah.
LDAP is one of those ports. And this one's specifically used for users and computers.
That's right.
There's an attack we're going to talk about later called an LDAP injection attack. And what that essentially means is that I can go to Active
LDAP
Directory
injection attack.
and inject
LDAP
myself as a
injection
user
attack into
in
the
Burr
users.
Support. And now
LDAP
I can log in
injection
to Burr
attack.
Support because I've attacked their LDAP directory and I found a vulnerability that allows me to create myself as a user. It's called an LDAP injection attack. I'm injecting myself as a user in your particular organization. So Kerberos, I'm about to say, we're really going to talk about Kerberos. Now I'm going to talk about Kerberos. Kerberos is what we use nowadays because NTLM, LM, those are weak authentication protocols. Pass the hash attack made those weak. Well, Kerberos is strong because it does something that allows us to issue tickets. You can see the word ticket here. I think about when we go to a fair, right? Talk about not Six Flags, but one of those pop-up fairs. And in order for you to gain access to the fair, what do you got to purchase? A ticket. That ticket allow you to go to the fair tomorrow? The same ticket now, because that ticket expires. It's only good for that day. Does that ticket that you purchase at the fair, does it allow you to ride all the rides? No, none. It just allows you entry into the fair. You got to purchase other tickets to ride the rides. So these tickets, similar to the fair, is the same scenario when you talk about your network. When you log into your computer at work, Kerberos issues you a ticket. Does that ticket allow you, when you log in at work, do you have access to all the data at work? No. You only have access to certain data that you are authorized to access. Right? Now, same thing. When you get this digital ticket issued that allows you access into your environment, that ticket's only good for a certain period of time. There's an expiration that is attached to it. So, right? Yeah. So there's an expiration attached to it. Especially in military, you get asked your PIN number several times throughout the day.
That's right.
To re-authenticate.
That's right.
Who issues the ticket? That's a question that you'll get on Security Plus.
Who issues the ticket? Okay.
It's right here. I'm about to give you guys the answer. The KDC, Key Distribution Center. This is the third party who issues the ticket.
Distribution Center.
Right? So you can see this picture here. The principal, that's me. I log into my computer with the username and password and I send that request to the KDC, basically saying, hey, can I get a ticket to get into the network? The KDC says, well, if your username and password are right, I will grant you a ticket. And it sends you a TGT to grant a ticket back to the end user. And you can take that ticket.
The KDC vouchers for that identity.
Resources that you're authorized.
Don't forget that KDC.
Database guy, because he can access the application server.
Gotcha.
But you can only use that ticket to access resources that you have privileges to access. Kerberos uses a protocol called SSO, single sign-on.
Single sign-on.
The single sign-on allows you to sign in one time. You guys don't have that in the military. Military, you have to sign in multiple times throughout the day because for security purposes, it's just going to kick you out eventually. You got to type in your PIN number again and again. Corporate uses single sign-on. That means if you sign in one time in the morning, you're authenticated throughout the entire day to all your resources until you sign out. Or if you lock your computer, and of course you got to sign in again. But at no point in time is it going to ask me in the middle of me working to re-authenticate. SSO, single sign-on. Authenticate one time, authenticates me to all my resources. This is packed of information. Federation.
Yes. Federation.
So I'm going to go to my notes, and I know I have this in my notes. Control F.
Whole area.
FIM.
Being a provider. This is my world. This is my world. Federation. Yes.
So federated. This is where it's at. What chapter is this federation? And just curious. Because they move stuff around so much. Look, chapter 8. chapter 8 in the old one. So I told you they concise this book. This book is a lot smaller than the other book. So here's the concept of federation. That's what they're talking about in the book. We're on page 93, 94, federation. So they have a picture in here. I don't like the picture. The picture in 94 is talking about Kerberos. That's talking about tickets there. Right? So they don't even have a picture talking about federation. Yeah, 94 talks about Kerberos.
Yeah.
And single sign-on.
Right.
So federation. This is my picture of federation that I created to make it make sense. As an administrator, and if you guys remember yesterday, I talked about this word called central administration. That's what SolarWinds does, right? I said it allows me to go to one place and it aggregates or collects information about different resources of the environment and puts it in one single location. So anything that puts information from multiple locations into one central location makes my job easy. I have to go to different locations. So what the purpose of federation is it allows disparate, which is different places, to all come under one single central location for me to authenticate. This is what we're talking about in this chapter. We're talking about authentication. Here's a picture. I have an office located in LA. I got one located in Atlanta. I got one located in Florida. And I have these users that want to sign in and authenticate. So I could have a authentication server in LA. I could have one in Atlanta and have one in Florida. But if I have 40 different locations, that's 40 different places that I have to go log into their server, create a user. Then I gotta go to Florida, log into that server, create a user. I gotta go to Atlanta, log into that server, create a user. Make my job hard. So what federation does is it allows all of these different locations to authenticate to one central location, this federated identity management server. And I can manage all those users in one central location. Now, in order for these users to authenticate to one central location, they all need to be speaking the same language. So I talk about language. What I mean by language? Well, LA can't be speaking Spanish, Atlanta can't be speaking Japanese, and Florida can't be speaking Russian. They all got to be speaking English so that this guy over here can understand what they're saying. But in this case, we're talking about a programming language, right? The programming language that all are speaking is SAML. SAML stands for Security Assertion Markup Language. That's the programming language that LA needs to speak. You see this, Atlanta, SAML is going over here to Federated Data Manager. In Florida is using SAML to communicate and authenticate to the same location. They all are speaking a common language, SAML. And so SAML is that common language that is used in federations for these different disparate locations to authenticate to one central place. That's for a different type of business. A college, university would use service provisioning markup language. Still allows them to authenticate, but it's typically used for college universities. That's something that I have written here for a different course, CISSP. So we don't talk about that in Security Plus. Good question though. Not mad at that. On the next page, they do have these steps talk about identity provider and service provider. I want to show you my picture. Their picture is confusing here. All right. Not to say that the book isn't good, but I just have simpler explanations. So here's my simpler explanation right here. So same terms, same concept is shown on page 94. So what's going on here is we have this person called a principal. Again, we're talking about the concept of authentication. I haven't stopped talking about it yet. So the principal is trying to authenticate, which means he needs to prove who he is, to a person called the IDP. That's what the book is showing, identity provider.
That's right.
Now, a question on the exam, common question is, what is the role or the job of the identity provider? Well, you can see clear as day in this picture, the role of the identity provider is to make sure that the principal authentication is correct. So if you type in username and password and the data provider looks at that, he has to verify your identity. And if your username and password doesn't match his database, then an identity provider is going to deny you. But if it does match, the identity provider will allow you into the network.
That's right.
So, in simple terms, this guy's sitting in his laptop logging into Facebook. Facebook has to verify his authentication, and if Facebook verifies his authentication, it passes it to the service, which is Facebook, and the SP service provider provides the service back to the end user.
Remember those parts, man. Remember those parts.
So that's what it's saying in this short
3,
picture
4.
that had like
The
6 steps
Yeah.
on 94, but the concept's the same.
Yep.
Right? So make sure you know who
Those
the
6
identity
steps.
provider is, what the
Of
identity
course, that
provider's
could be
job is,
Okta.
and make sure you know what the service provider's job is to provide the service back to the principal, which is me.
Example of the
SAML.
service provider could be
On
Okta.
95, we just talked about SAML. SAML is that common language that's used in federated networks.
Test.
Right? So we just
1, 2,
talked about
3,
that.
Microphone's not working.
And on the next page, they jam-packed this. This reminds me of CASP. CASP was jam-packed with information,
Test 1, 2.
and that's why my notes are so helpful, because
So
even the book doesn't
16.
give you enough information to
It's weird.
understand the concepts, because it's really like a book that's kind of set
I'm
for
not muted.
an instructor, the instructor material. So
Let's get to the test.
we have open authorization on the next page, or they call it OAuth, right? OAuth is mentioned over here, and they also talk about JSON. Now we looked at JSON code yesterday.
Java. Open that
Remember the
word.
key value? Yeah, we looked at that yesterday. And I was saying that JSON code is easy to read. It's not obfuscated code. But this is not the point of page 96. The point of 96 is talk about OAuth. So I'm going to go here. OAuth is right down here. All right.
There is my OneDrive.
All right. It says OAuth. OAuth's job is to authorize OAuth, authorization. So remember, authorization is different than authenticate. Authorization means what rights and privileges do you have? Can you read? Can you write? Can you modify? Do you have full access? So OAuth is an authorization protocol. It says using a third party. Have you ever logged into an application? Here's a picture here. Load up a little bit. And you can create an account, or it says you could use one of your other applications. Google, Microsoft, Apple, Clever. The one missing here is Facebook commonly. All of these are considered OAuth. So we use OAuth every single day. We just don't know it's called OAuth. So we basically say, use my Google account, and we type in our Google account's credentials, and it will log me into that other application, right? Now the question with OAuth that they typically ask is my Google credentials, is it shared with the application that I'm using to log into? And the answer is no. Those credentials stay with Google. They're not going to be with Pizza Hut or Papa John's or whatever third-party application you're using to authorize your Google or your Facebook or your Microsoft account to allow you to use that app without you creating a new account in that particular service. Those credentials stay private. So, key point here, OAuth is an authorization protocol, right? And it's used for a third-party app like Facebook, Google, Microsoft to authorize you to a different application. By the way, this picture here is from Cahoots. So every morning Cahoots, I use Google to sign into Cahoots. All right, now we can take a break. I can't believe it's 11 o'clock already.
All right.
Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break. Come back at 11:15.
Okay.
Yeah, 11:15.
All right. Outstanding. Good. All right.
I hear that all the time. I understand.
All right. All right. Let's see. I got my meeting notes. Let's see, we have everything in here. Beautiful. Alright. So, alright. Yes, let's see. Make sure. Custom setup. AMD is on that. And the enhancer's there. And that's going to be speaker. And the high definition camera is there. And we're going to hit join. Alright, so hit the button. And he'll let me in. We'll figure out why we don't have the filter. I want to change. Yep, let me in. There we go. So, that lets me in. Mic check off. Camera's on. Beautiful. Wonderful. Got a good video. Got a good video. Yep. So now, meeting info, record and transcribe. I can't do that. Okay, cool. Corner effects, background effects, good. Dry settings, good. Again, real tech, good. Close that. Hey. Here's how you can do that. There's that they have a couple of things in Microsoft Teams they don't let them do here, so you have to go hit the hide devices settings on there. Do the chat, okay. Breaking up 15. Yep, thanks. Yeah. Alright, testing. Let's see, mic. And we're gonna turn off that internal audio jack. Close that. Alright. Go back up that again. That's one. Alright, so we got a lot of good test questions. We got the Kerberos identity provider, that whole single sign-on. I mean, that's all I do for Cisco. So it's like, this helps me with my certification with Cisco and helps me with my certification for this Security Plus, which is a win-win-win. We're talking about TLS in a few minutes. Okay. Mic check. Let's go and see, drop this down. Mic check 2, 3. Why is mic not coming up? I see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna switch it. Because it looks like something is wrong with the and going back to opening up, let's minimize this. Okay, put this on one side over here because I see the volume on the input. It's showing one thing, but it's not. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch up this device. I don't know why. 2001, 2002, 2003. Okay, and then we're going to let them go there. It should come up under. There it is now. All right, Angel Tube. Now let's turn this on. Come on. Hello. Angel Tube. I see it. All right, go back up here. Go over to Angel Tube. We're gonna close this. Hello. On Angel Tube live camera. Frame match. For some reason it's not showing that. Turn that on. And we're gonna delete this. Grab a new one. There we go. Don't know why it's doing that, but if for some stupid reason it has to do that BS crap. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Close that. All right, we're gonna now go up here. We're gonna exit out. All right, I'm gonna close that. And we're going to now wait for it to catch up. I don't know why it's acting like this. 10,001. Alright, well, let's close it. We're not going to go stupid. Fine. Okay, fine. Don't know why you're acting that way, but we'll just open it back up and wait for it by the name. Go back up. Alright, go to sound and display. Alright, the speaker is going to be that one. It's like a little slow. Angel Tube is going to be the mic. Why is it not showing? Angel Tube. Yes, what's going on here? Yeah. So volume is not working. Over here. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. Beautiful. Microphone test. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mic check. 0% of this volume. Mic check. Okay, so it doesn't want to work. Fine. I don't know what's causing it. Come on. Fine. It's not picking up any microphone volume. And we're going to switch over to the speaker. And we're going to go play a musical interlude. Excuse me.
Question.
Yeah.
Would you build a website for a major brand with more than 200 million users using Wix? Well, we did. Hi, I'm Sivan. I'm an R&D manager here at Wix. Today I want to show you how we use our own platform, creating some pretty complex functionalities that may surprise you.
Alright.
All of our web pages are built on Wix. They get a huge amount of traffic. Users that sign up to
I
Wix
said don't
come with
allow.
all
Now
kinds
don't-
of
turn it
links.
off.
So to match them with the
Don't
best
allow.
solutions, we built an onboarding flow on the Wix editor using custom code. We also embedded a web component using the custom element feature. These can be developed in any client-side technology like React, Angular, Vue.js, your call. So what
Keep going
now?
again.
Push to production? Well, not just yet. That's where the release manager comes in handy. It's a built-in tool that allows you to gradually roll out new versions and test them safely. What about SEO? Go ahead. Google Website Builder, create a website, or any of the other 3,500 highly competitive non-branded keywords we compete for. Security? Done. No compromising there. Our whole business depends on it. So let's put it this way. You can do everything
Mic
with
check.
Wix. See for yourself.
Mic check.
Okay, let's do it again.
Nope, we're done here.
Okay. You know, it's pissing me off because the mic settings are not working. And the voice speed, I said I said mic. Mic settings. Microphone setup. I said mic. I didn't say speech, I said mic. Yeah. Hello? Now, while that's fucking bullshitting me, I got another computer. What? No. No, close that. No. Would you please, I should have nothing else on. Thank you. I don't know what's going on. Just close that meeting now. Why are you opening up again? Thank you. Is it off? What's wrong? All right. Good. All right. Good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Correct. Reference different layers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it. We've seen it. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh no, no. We're gonna study. We're listening. Right. It's my John Sally. This is my John Sally. This is my John Sally. Oh. Oh wow. Wow. Mm-hmm. Hmm. That's true. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. One, two, and three over four. Oh, tax services. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, ain't gonna be on 100. Yep, I said that three. Left forwards with the change from protocol. Just repeat. Yes. Yeah. Mm. Like, okay. Peter talks to his computer, prefers typing, particularly prefers the pen and paper. Mm-hmm. 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 That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. There you go. And let's look, huh? Let's look. Let's look. Yeah. Okay, mic check.
Because everything needs to be translated to an IP address. Okay. So here they're looking at switch infrastructure considerations, topology of nodes and links, physical versus logical. I'm going to segue to a picture here. I'm going to speed up a little bit, gang, because it's about to be lunch, and I want to finish this chapter before lunch.
Okay.
So Gary Fraser is a network engineer. What we're talking about is a physical logical topology. I'm going to show you both in one picture, but I'm showing you one that's real.
Let's go.
Real life. I'm not going to show
Yeah.
you in theory.
There we go, baby.
So in real life, he's made a physical topology and a logical topology of a network. Yes, the picture's blurry because there's sensitive data here.
That's
We
right.
don't care to have to read it.
Right.
We care to look at the icons.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sir.
The icons here is an icon that says hallway east, it says hallway west, it says hallway north. These icons are wireless access points. So he can look at this physical topology and he knows walking into this building, there's 3 access points. And there's 1 in each hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if something breaks, he knows how many are there. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, there's only 1 in that particular section of that building, those particular hallways. Right. So physically, he's going to tell me where they're located and how many of them are there. And sometimes it even tells you the model. You probably could see that if you could zoom in and it wasn't blurry. You could see the model, the make and manufacturer of that device.
Mm-hmm.
The lines here, and all this network-related information is what's called logical topology.
Sure.
Logically, how does that data leave this access point, go to the switch, and from the switch go through the firewall go to the router, and from the router goes to the internet? How does all that data travel? Right? So if that wireless access point is not taking hallway east to the internet, he has to be able to troubleshoot why are these people not getting to the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the data going? That's logical. Because again, you can't touch data, but logically I should be able to trace the path of how this data flows from my organization to a switch, to a router, to the internet to get that person to Facebook.com.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is vital for any network engineer when it comes to troubleshooting network-related issues. Right? Without that, and he has multiple topologies here, basically bragging about his job and how good he is at doing his job.
Yes, sir.
Without that,
Yeah.
you might as well not work at that particular environment because you're going to be responsible for creating one.
That's right.
And who really wants? He's like, that's right. And who really wants to sit there and spend half a year, 6 months, creating a physical logical topology on an environment that you know nothing about?
Good point.
And if it's a mess, if it's a hot mess, the wires everywhere.
Ain't nobody about that.
Before and after, yeah. I mean, it's gonna take you. It's gonna take you even longer.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's a lot of network tools that can help you do that, but still, you really want to do that, or do you just want to get hired to support the environment? I just want to be hired to support the environment. I don't want to sit there and
You don't want to do the hard work? No, come on.
yeah. No, I don't. Not me. Not me. You can hire somebody else. Turn you up there a little bit. So here we have on-prem networks. On-prem means all of my equipment is on site. So this is where we're going to get to cloud here today. Right. The thing about on-prem is if all my equipment's on site, I need people on site to support my equipment. Right. That's why you got your network guys, you got your application guys, you got your server guys, you got your cable running guys, all that stuff for somebody to support the information and the infrastructure. And it's expensive to pay all these guys for their time. That's why people move to the cloud, because I can take all my equipment that was on-prem and move it somewhere else. Right? That's why I actually turned all the servers off, physical servers off here, and I power them on in the cloud. So if power goes off here, our email's still going to go, our files are still going to be on, everything still works, right? When I got here, it was the opposite. Power would go out, and emails would go down, and the boss would just look at me like, yeah, that's normal. That happens. I'm like, that's not normal. That's not normal. Has nobody come in here and told you how they can fix it? Well, let me try. I can fix it, I promise you. Hierarchical design. This hierarchical design enforces what's called segmentation. Right? And segmentation is opposite of what's called a flat network. We'll talk about what a flat network is and why it's important to have a segmented network. Do you think I can come into your building right now, plug my computer into any port in your building and have access to all the devices in your network? Heck no, right? Not all. And it might even be based on a floor. If I'm not even on the second floor, I don't have access to things on the second floor. Just saying, we don't know how your network's set up, but your network's not set up as a flat network where I can plug in anywhere and get access to everything. It's segmented, meaning that I have to have rights and permissions on that particular interface to access certain other things in that device. It could be based on the floor. You plug into a port on floor 1, you get access to everything on floor 1. Floor 2, you got access to things on floor 2. Or it could be configured differently, which we don't get into in this class, on the switch. Okay. Oh yeah, we're talking about a government building, of course. Of course you do not have a flat network. You have segmentation, right? You have security and networks that'll say, hey, you plug into this port, you have access to certain things, and based on your roles and privileges in your laptop, that device only has access to other devices in the network. So there's lots of ways we could split this network up into sub-networks. That's where that word comes from. One network,
yes.
And then you got sub-networks.
Subnets.
That network is split up into multiple smaller networks. Without saying the word subnet again, right? But here with IP4, IP6, IP4 addresses are going to be used mainly in most organizations because everyone is already integrated IP4 so much in their organizations. So that's where you see that 192.168.1.1 address, right? Common addresses that we see in our homes. IP6, not so common. We don't have that implemented everywhere. It is running in a lot of internet service providers like Comcast, Xfinity, but in organizations, they don't implement it yet because they have to change everything that's already using IP4 over to IP6, and that's going to take them years.
Yeah.
So the reason we came out with IP6 is because in short, we've run out of IP4 addresses. Yeah, 4.3 billion, and we ran out. Yeah, 4.3 billion. IP6, 340 trillion.
How did you know that?
So we should
How
not
to get
run.
that number?
Oh, I'm not sure. Is it lady?
Got
Yeah,
that number
they
from-
have a class next door today. It's a rental. Yeah, they're probably here for a day. I don't know, but they rent the classrooms out sometimes here. So they're probably like Security Plus. What is that? You probably want to hide over here today or something. If it's annoying you, I'll put a piece of paper up there. All right, my bad. So we got VLANs that allow for that segmentation. Here in short is what a VLAN is, and I know Henry knows what this is because he probably created one. A VLAN allows me to, even though I'm in this building is a perfect example. Everyone who walks in this building has access to things in this building, right? So we're going to say this one building is one big network. Right? So the moment you walk in this building, you can talk to other people in ATG because you're inside the building. But the moment you walk into this classroom, now you're in a sub part of this building, which is a VLAN. Now what happens in this classroom, as far as me communicating, only people in this classroom hear what I'm saying. So it says classroom is VLAN 1. Classroom next door is VLAN 2. I can't hear what's going on in VLAN 2 because I'm not in that classroom, right? So each of these classrooms, we can say that they are VLANs. But even though we're all in the same building, logically, I've segmented this building into classrooms, and they all can't hear and communicate with one another, right? So what it's called is a way to split up our broadcast. There was a word here earlier that I kind of skimmed over right here. Broadcast domains. So a broadcast domain would be if I walked into this building and there was no classrooms. But I was trying to teach a class and he's trying to teach a class. We're all hearing each other, right? That's too much noise is going on. So to split our broadcast up, we create these VLANs. So now people in this classroom can hear a broadcast message, and people in that classroom hear a broadcast message. I'm gonna say. Teaching. Sorry. Somebody's giving that lawnmower away. I don't know if you guys saw it. $600. I said, save that. Please don't throw it away. It's like brand new. Yes. They have no clue what they have. I said, I will be over there this week to pick it up. Like, seriously. My lawnmower is going out.
What type of lawnmower is it?
Huh?
What type of lawnmower?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No, I can't see it. All you see
it.
I
was looking up on my screen a second ago. Yeah, I meant to keep up on my screen. It was on this LinkedIn. I think I typed over it. Yeah. This one, it's like $600.
Very
but
nice.
it's self-propelled and stuff, right? So it's still $600. They told me they bought it for $600. I didn't believe them. And I looked up the model. I'm like, okay, yeah, save that. I'll be over there this week. Even though the grass ain't grown, my lawnmower hand me down from my dad, and that thing's been on its last leg. I think if I change the oil one time, it's not going to start up again. All right. So, anyways, we don't want one huge broadcast domain. We want to split our broadcast up into smaller broadcast domains. All right. And that's what VLANs do. VLANs allow us to split that networks up. All right. So hopefully we understand that concept. Here they're talking about segmenting contains hosts within the same access control security requirements. So we just talked about this. I could segment a network and say VLAN 1, those are managers. VLAN 2, those are contract workers. VLAN 3, those are end users. I don't want these people to talk to one another or be able to steal or compromise data from one another.
That's right.
So a host is just a fancy word for PCs. So VLAN 1 contains hosts of managers, PCs. VLAN 2 contains hosts or PCs of the contract workers. And these people are not going to be able to compromise each other's security. Right. Public versus private. That is a very open-ended word. So I want to see where they want from that explanation.
Versus private.
We skip a couple pages here now. We are on the page. Where am I at? Let me just look over some of the stuff to make sure I'm not skipping anything. Talk about VLANs, VLAN IDs. We talk about, it's not a networking domain. Talk about IP4. It's not a network, so I'm not going to go into subnetting or subnet mask, but I do see that subnet mask in here. I think that's above the scope of this course.
All right, listen closely.
VLANs, what do they talk about? They're just talking about
Stand up. Pick up, shuffle to the door.
All right.
95,000 in
Yeah,
Chicago.
voice VLANs.
I mean, in Philly.
They have a whole
Be very
program.
poor.
So we'll talk about that real quick.
Yeah, I was used to working for
In
a company. But it's
network,
Teams.
You have a Cisco phone or IP phone at your desk? Right. All right, Cisco. Okay. So those phones plug into the same ports that our PCs plug into. So they're called voice over IP phones. And they send voice traffic over the network. But I don't want voice traffic to be sent over the same network traffic that my PC's traffic is being sent over. So you have a specific VLAN that's called a voice VLAN that only allows voice traffic to travel over that VLAN. So remember, I said VLAN 1 is this classroom, VLAN 2 is that classroom. There's a VLAN called VoIP VLAN, voice VLAN. And only voice can travel over that VLAN. Right? And then you can have VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to VLAN 4094. Right? Are they recording? Okay, so maybe
Yes,
jump
some
on
kind of
that.
stupid question that don't matter.
Absolutely. Right?
All right,
There's
Shay will
different
be
things
here
we don't get to this
in a
class.
few minutes.
In the networking class, we talk about how to secure that. Right? There's
Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
secure real-time protocol to encrypt that voice traffic going across that voice VLAN. So if somebody is eavesdropping and listening to it,
Okay.
they can understand what's going on to encrypt it. But purpose here is just to know that we have voice VLANs to segment that data because voice traffic is very important and it's very sensitive to data loss. So we want to have a specific channel dedicated to sending voice traffic over the network so we can make sure everyone's telephone calls can be sent and received. Right? It's not competing with other people's traffic. That's like on the highway. You get the main highway, you get the express lane. Right? If you want to make sure you get to work but pay a little bit extra money, you're going to get there faster than anybody else. Right? Voice is the same thing. We want voice to always be able to be top priority in the network. So we'll dedicate a channel for voice and we'll make sure that that channel is always going to be faster and have enough utilization to accommodate you and mine and everyone else's phone calls in the network. All right, security zones, that's where we're at. That's the bottom of 106. Public versus private, I'm sorry. That's what I was talking about. I wanted to get to see exactly how detailed they want to get public versus private. All right, so they're talking about on-prem, have a clear organization boundary, and network perimeter, hosts outside the perimeter are considered public, and hosts inside. All right, that's what I thought of that. There's another word that I thought they were going to talk about, but if you're inside the network, you're considered in the private zone. If you're outside the network, considered public. That's at home. Of course, even at home, in a public network, you use VPN, virtual private network, to do what? From the public realm, connect to the private realm.
Correct.
Compartmentalize different types of data sets. So the word compartmentalize means just because I've been given access to the private network doesn't mean I have access to everything in that private network. You got compartments. If I can show a picture of this real quick. Or yes. Search drawer. Alright. I'm just pulling up a picture here. So these are compartments, obviously. Alright. And
There we go.
just because we're to say that this is top secret, this top drawer right here is top secret. So just because I have access to top secret doesn't mean I have access to each of these compartments. Because some of this data could be top secret 007. Let's talk about top secret names. This one could be Happy Sumo. This one could be Desert Storm, right? And just because I got top secret doesn't mean I have access to all the compartments. Compartmentalize means I could segment what access you have based on a need to know. You don't need to know about all the compartments. You only need to know about certain ones that pertain to your job, right? And that's what VLANs are. Just because I have access to the network doesn't mean I have access to VLAN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I only have access to maybe VLAN 1, and the rest of the VLANs I don't have access to.
Right.
So that's what we talk about. Compartmentalize different types of data. Top secret, secret, classified, unclassified, public. All those are different compartments. We add the top secret. Client devices, 107. need to be prioritized with integrity and availability. These devices should not store data and therefore have lower confidentiality requirements. Here they're just talking about maintaining security of our host devices. Public-facing app servers, what would that be, a web server? That's a public-facing server that could have apps on it. Of course, we want to make sure that we secure these as well. Public application servers, it says here in the book, web, right, and so on, should also prioritize integrity and availability. One, we don't want people going to our website making changes, and two, we want our website to always be up and running. They should not store sensitive data. Right, so the same thing, they're just talking about security of these devices. So I'm gonna say web. Security. And network infrastructure servers. So here they talk about application network infrastructure. Should offer some type of authentication before you can log into these devices. They have high levels of confidentiality, integrity, availability. Any compromise could have catastrophic effects. These are critical infrastructure.
Mic check.
So yeah, if somebody was to take out your router, then guess what? Nobody in your environment is going to be able to route to the internet.
That's right.
That's critical infrastructure. You got to keep that secure. So if I do have a router, I'm hopefully going to have two routers. If one gets compromised, I just fell over to another one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just an example, but there's lots of different critical infrastructure. Here, attack surface, points at which threat actor can gain access.
Mic check.
We have layer 1, layer 2, talked about. Huff, daddy. Huff, layer 1 physical, daddy, data link. Versus layer 3, need, that's network layer. 2, transport layer. And the last one, stop playing around a application layer. So these are
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Out of your computer, plug it into your computer. That is a way they can attack your network. So since these are attacks,
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9.
Defensive death is if you have multiple layers of security. Think about your base, right? Before somebody can gain access to your base, they got to drive past the man trap. I've been talking about that all week, right? Just because I drove past your man trap, does that mean I have access to everything in your environment? Nope. So there's other layers of security. Now when I get inside the building, I can't just take my computer and plug it into the network because there's technical control types that prevent me from logging into the network. I need a username and password. I need credentials. Right? Then we have administrative things. I need a Security Plus cert before I can even log into the network, right? So we have administrative or documents that are going to prevent me from logging into the network. So there's 3 layers of security right there. Physical, the man trap. Technical,
and
me being able to connect to the network. And administrative, I need a Security Plus cert, a document that says I have the smarts to get on the network and not mess things up. All of these layers of security are there to, in essence, delay
Outstanding.
an attack.
Delay an attack.
Because I
Delay an
must
attack.
pass through all these layers of
Test
security
vision. Delay an
before I
attack.
can gain access.
Are we getting
What
to
are the
listen?
rise and weaknesses of a weak network? So again, how do we mitigate single
one hour
points of
lunch
failure?
after the few
We've
minutes.
done, let's see,
Redundancy.
2
He's
of
up there in the
everything.
email. He's okay.
One thing
yes.
fails, we have another one. Complex dependencies. We don't want to be too dependent.
Yeah. It's logical.
So that's basically a single point of failure.
Got
One
the mic
device
working
does
fine. I don't know what the hell was
I'll
wrong
give
with my
an
mic.
example here, i.e.,
Excuse me.
talked about yesterday, a UTM, or this device called a NGFW, Next Generation Firewall. I mentioned yesterday that these are all-in-one security devices.
All in one.
Bring up a picture of a NGFW device.
Like
Look
right.
at this, $90,000.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are $1 million. I usually pull up the $1 million one in class, and everyone in the class is like, "Wow, I had no clue." But this is I looked up NGFW.
Wow.
This is the next generation firewall,
Huh.
right? It's an all-in-one security appliance, is what it is. Right? It says here, a security appliance.
Wow.
So not just a firewall, but it does multiple things on top of blocking traffic coming in and out of the network. Right? It even can look at web traffic, make sure my web traffic is encrypted. It uses an inspection of SSL. It uses deep packet inspection. It's going to block certain applications from executing my network. Right? The list goes on. Right? It's got VPN built in. It's got VoIP built in. It's a firewall.
You got VoIP. Wow.
And it has so much other stuff built in to it. So if I just bought just one device, and this one device was in charge of all my security, and this one device went out, well, doesn't that say that I'm dependent? I'm overly dependent on one device?
Yes. Yes.
So we don't want to be too dependent.
Right.
Availability over confidentiality integrity. Well, as a network engineer, this is what I care about. I care about if the network's up. If the network's up, my job's done. I'm sitting chilling at my desk and paid 6 figures doing nothing.
Yes, sir.
The network goes down. It's available.
You're in trouble.
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So most of the time, what this is saying is that yes, we should be concerned about making sure we have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But network people, their primary concern is availability.
Exactly.
Right? They don't really care about confidentiality. We should. They don't really care about integrity. We should.
Yeah.
They're more focused on availability.
Yeah. That's right about that.
We should not be. So what it's saying is we should not be.
more. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You're right though. He's right. You're right.
Even CIA.
Remember that for the testers.
What did I tell you about that logical physical topology? If you didn't have it, so you should quit the job because you're going to be responsible for creating it. And another thing is if you don't have that, you can't fix issues.
That's right.
You can't detect where your attack surface is either because you don't know where things are at. So yeah, we do need to make sure we maintain
I was not skilled in that.
right, and update documents.
Amen.
And over dependency of perimeter security. This is what I was talking about. Just because I went past your security guard doesn't mean there should be other things in your environment that influence security. Right? Because all I'm focused on is, yes, the door is locked and they can't get to the server room. I'm safe. That's not a good thing. Right? Because just because the door is locked doesn't mean somebody can break through the door, and now I got to make sure that that device is secure. For example, what if I get past your server room, I find a switch that's active, and I take my computer and plug directly into the switch?
You have access.
Did you implement any security on that switch? So like port
Switch port security. Yeah.
would be a way to mitigate against that. Because now when you plug into that port, just because you broke the door down, the port's going to say, nope, you can't connect to me.
Shut down. Yeah.
It'll shut down. Speaking of port security, the next slide. So
Oh.
what?
Wow.
No. Honeypot is a good question. A honeypot is a single system that we set up in an environment with pseudo flaws, intentional flaws. We leave it intentionally vulnerable to attack. We want the hacker to find this machine, and we want him to hack the machine. Yeah. It could be any kind of machine. It could be a server, it could be a switch, it could be a server, it could be anything, it could be a hotspot, right? It's a system. And we leave it open because we want to watch him hack the system. And after that, we want to find the real system, and we want to put controls in place that he was able to use to hack the real system. So it's a learning tool. Right, so yeah, I just talked about what port security is and the purpose of it, right? And that's what MAC filtering is. MAC filtering is somebody was to plug into that port, it goes into disable mode. If it determines it's not the right MAC address, it's going to disable. And there's too many MAC addresses that hit that particular interface. It could cause that switch to go down. So we limit the amount of devices that can plug into a single interface on a switch.
Yeah, that's a test question called Mac flooding, right? Mac flooding.
Mac flooding.
Yeah.
Mac flooding is the concept of what would happen if we don't do that. Yeah, that's a good point. I can add that to my notes. Physical locations, single host or group of hosts not connected to any of the other networks. We talked about this already. You guys had a question about that this morning, so I talked about that yesterday. So we already know, showed you, yes, that mess cost a lot. And that was a cheap one. That was a cheaper one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we are worried about this upfront capital cost. How much is it going to cost me upfront? Right? That's like you going to buy a car and you have to put $5,000 down versus $100 down and then start a car payment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it keeps people from starting up or buying infrastructure because the upfront cost is too much initially. So I can't even open up my business because I know it's going to cost me $10,000. I don't have that cost up front. So what that capital cost is. And loss of value through depreciation. Yeah, that's what happens the moment you drive the car off the lot.
Mm-hmm.
It depreciates by what, 10%? I don't know what they say. And then we have this thing called ongoing maintenance and support costs. That's what happens when we move the ATG to the cloud. So capital costs, my boss purchased all these machines, all the servers, right? And he's done. Once he paid off the servers, he doesn't have to pay anything else. But now when we move to the cloud, we have to pay $199 a month to maintain support of those servers in the cloud. So that was something that I was concerned of if they wanted to even pursue that, because who really wants to go from not having a bill to not having a bill, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, the argument is this: would you rather your organization go down, you lose all your data, and you close your business, or would you rather pay $199 a month for peace of mind? I'll pay $199 a month for peace of mind. I can trust Microsoft's going to keep my business up and running. Yes. So like I said, availability when it comes to network, we want to minimize downtime. How you do that? Getting rid of single points of failure. Resilience is hardening of our network, so we can do security configurations like VLANs, not having a flat network, not having dependencies on perimeter security. Power. Of course, we want to make sure that we have redundancy with UPSs and generators to keep our equipment up and running. This one's always going to be in every single thing we talk about, patching and updating. It doesn't change. Our network devices, our routers and switches, they get patched just like our laptops, just like our phones get patched. And risk transfer. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about 4 ways we can deal with the risk. We can accept the risk. That means I know it's a risk, but I'm not going to put a cable lock on a $5 mouse. Doesn't make sense, right? $3, cable lock's $100. I'll accept that risk. We can transfer the risk. We talked about that yesterday. So migrating my data from on-prem to the cloud, that's transferring the risk to somebody else. Insurance of your car, it's transferring the risk. Keyword there is insurance. If they say that in a question, and you'll see it in your homework, insurance has been purchased. What type of way did they choose to deal with this risk? Transfer the risk. We can mitigate the risk. That's our job in this class. We're risk mitigators. And then we can avoid the risk. No, don't bring it into my network. Just choosing to avoid it completely. All right, so we're going to take lunch now. It's right at 12. We're at B, which is fine. We got 5, 6, 7, and 8 when we come back. And then I kind of want to talk about SIMs. I want to get to talking about SIMs, because SIMs could be the hardest part of the exam if you don't know what to expect. But I need to talk about SIMs so you guys do know what to expect and how to complete these SIMs. So it will be the easiest part of your exam. Hour 15, so that's 12. No, 12 now. 1:15. See you back at 1:15.
Got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. On the test, the option to put the questions in objective versus non-objective, I'm looking at the test I've been taking, and it doesn't give that option. Is that the way this program is set up?
What do you mean?
Yeah, on the VC platform that you got us taking the test on.
VC, that's just the practice exam.
Yeah, on the practice exam. On the practice exam, right now trying to practice my test as we speak, And as I put in a wonderful VC program, I get the candidate name, I get the exam mode. It don't.
That mess don't work. Don't worry
Okay,
about that.
copy.
It's just the exam is just for you to be able to
Okay.
have a simulation where you can read a question and you can simulate answering it.
Okay. Is it possible to start taking some more questions for today? Can I start on today's 100 now on break?
Today will be so we did what 6:15 to 7:15.
Right.
So today will be 5:15 to 6:15.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
And I'm just gonna work our way backwards. And yes, we're not gonna get through all 700 questions by our test date, which would be Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do about 400 questions, and that's enough for you guys to pass.
Awesome.
If you take more time, sure, the more questions, the higher score you're gonna get. But do you need to do all of them? No.
Okay, Alexa, stop music. Oh, yes, sir. I'm gonna do all of them though. Just good,
Okay,
so I appreciate
no
it.
worries.
I'll say that's all I needed, man. Thank you. All right.
I'll see you back.
All right.
It's 57 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect mostly sunny weather with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 33 degrees.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, motherfucker. Thank you. Sorry, thank you. All right, guys. So we heard the questions. We're muted. We'll stay on the call. Trying to come back. We're ready to go. For some reason, I turned off my actual system, and last 3 hours I was recording, but he couldn't hear me. I go to a second computer to figure out that somehow I turned off the mic. It's working now, and so I'm gonna eventually stop recording video, but in the meantime, while I have my interview with the white man, $90,000 still $90,000, okay? And that I'm accepting that because I had contracts. So, but to go up there and have no money, shit. I mean, that's hard. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to move the questions, go through the questions for the next 100 while I have the notes. Now, what I can do is I can take my notes and I can forward them over via Gmail to myself, which allows me to play on my other computer. So, the Security Plus, test notes, SCAN, MITCHELL, ATG, trainer, black, rich guy. He doesn't understand, but it's okay. Yeah, he's better than I am. One of the things I had to learn, and this is the truth, I had to learn that I'm a nigga, and when you first make that understanding of who you are to them, you don't get mad because listen, no matter where I fucking go, I'm gonna be a nigga, and the higher you go, the more you're a nigga. Like this guy was talking about, this role is an operations role. You're doing it's remote, but I'm willing to move. Cause you asked me, are you willing to move? I said, yeah. And so, basically, that speaks loud. As I talk to this motherfucker, excuse my French, you get don't talk to me like you better than me, motherfucker. Calm yourself down. Excuse me. Call me sir or Mr. Howard, whatever you want. One of them. Be very careful. You might teach thousands of dumb black niggas in the army don't give a shit, but I'm not one of those motherfuckers. But see, what you have to do with white people and with some blacks, you have to. Did I put it in there? Well, I did. All right. If I can do my questions now, do 200 now, 300 now, get through all of them by the end of Friday, I'm ready. Okay? And I only get through them, but figure out why I got them wrong and then keep retaking them down. I have a strong feeling these are the questions. So, on my PC, you can see UCC engineer, all that. This is what I have up. So on one computer, I have the notes. On the other computer, I will have that. And so the biggest thing I told him is that, hey, I'm a contractor, but I understand cybersecurity. But you know what? I got help. So now, go back to the slides. I've got to send that. So we're going to, we call zip it. Once I zip it, I can unzip it, and then I could send it over as an email to my other computer. And then I send it. I send it again. Should be a zip right here. Anything else I can send that needs to be zipped. PNG. Help. And these are the domains to help us put everything in domains. So as I was trying to talk to the guy, You already know I'm very intelligent, so please treat me like I'm an intelligent black man, just like you want me to treat. Thank you. Harry put white people in their place, and I guess I do the same way. But one of the things that I realized as a black man, we're always facing prejudice and discrimination. Like, I've lost my job, and it's frustrating because God knows I deserve to be working for a company. Like, I talked to Ms. Cochran, and I'm pretty sure I go back here, but I got two computers now, so give me a second before I start the question. Use this 1 hour of time to add this to my work. Yeah, and we studied tonight. I would love to help, but right now, my job is most important. And do the right thing. Blocked? What? What do you mean blocked? For security reasons. What? Alright, here we are. Talking about Security Plus. And shit was blocked for security reasons. Jay's gonna be home in a few minutes. I have to cook stuff this afternoon, especially when I deal with the stinkness of the food that she cooked. I don't like being here. I don't mind going to the library, but But at the same time, I can stand stink. Oh God. You knew that was gonna fucking happen, motherfucker. Alright, go get the yeah. Thank you, son. Yeah. Go get a broom. Go get that and go forward. Supposed to make sure all right, chain everything up. So 11 o'clock come or 12, we're not gonna be able to record because Shay will be here. So in my world, we'll do something is not right with the settings on my FX sound. It's like it's not recording. So all right, let's go here, the Bishop Blue, and go to what I just sent myself, some training. Come on, let's do a refresh. It's 12 o'clock. Here's a test worth knowing. And here's security test notes. I'm going to download all of them. You got to use our own page. Don't worry, I'm going to get a broom. Give me a second. I said domains. All right. Come on. Takes a few seconds for everything to save. Give it a couple seconds. This PC is old school, but it works. In the meantime, drink water. All right. and wait, instead of wait. It's a very slow PC. I don't know why. It's old, so it belonged to my old company. Can't get mad at them. I don't know why that leaking water. Okay, so looks like that's blocked for security reasons. Fine. Delete this. And that's okay. I don't know why. The slides got through, but the help didn't get through. So guys, excuse me. Excuse me. You don't know me. So slow down. Let me finish. Okay? Don't let me have to go drill sergeant on you. You don't like my main room. You're my teacher, remember? Alright. I'm your student. Uh-huh. Okay. Should I take a long time to do that? Alright. Alright, so that's gonna zip it. And then I have this slide. Also, gotta wait to download. Alright. And then work knowledge. That should be in the link. That should be there. But let's get to the questions and learn the terms. I realized it really is memorization. I thought, man, let's try to learn to start the damn concept. No. Just learn the questions the way you want it to be memorized. And then go forward. So conversation needs to be turned off. We already in the conversation. Today is Tuesday. We need to go up here and we need to go. The mouse is so effed up sometimes. God damn it. Thank you. Why this mouse is still, it's so like you try to, the windows ain't popping up like they should be popping up. Dumbass. Okay. And for some reason my T number has not come up. Let me go and see what Shay said about 1 o'clock. So I expect today at 1 o'clock to be in a few minutes. So let's look at what I heard her say. Google Voice. All right, got a call. Teresa. Oh yeah, Ancestry.com. Cool. That's nice of her. She gave me a call from Ancestry. Yeah. Yeah. Roger that. All right. So he contacted me. What did Shay say? All she said was there was no one every time this week. Yeah, and she out as soon as possible. Yeah, it's amazing how much you really care. Thank you for showing me how much you truly care. Yeah. Funny. Funny. Okay. Very interesting. Okay. P.O. box. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, I would have made it. Yeah, that's yeah. Yes, but the good news is I'm working my tail off, so even with the bullshit, God willing, I'll be able to get out of here and be able to get on. In the meantime, we got an alarm set. Alexa, set an alarm for 1 p.m. today only.
Alarm set for 1 p.m.
Alexa, alarm type, bell.
Your alarm is set for 1 p.m.
Alexa, what is the alarm signal?
In animal communication,
No, Alexa, for my alarm, please use a bell sound.
Yes, you can choose to use a bell sound for your alarm. However, it is important to note that there are various alarm sounds available, including those specific to the police, fire department, and military.
Okay. On my, yeah. Yeah. On my, thank you. What's the name? What's the name? On my Echo. All right.